Welcome to Awakening Truth Podcast, which is a podcast where women support women in being seen and being heard and sharing our wisdom and our experiences with healing, holistic healing, aligning mind, body, and soul, and really just stepping into the life that we truly desire and that we truly deserve, and just sharing that knowledge so that you can do the same. As a little reminder, feel free to pause this session at any moment that you would like to take notes or just reconnect with your body. We're going to be covering various different topics, and it's going to be really beneficial for you to remain connected to your body and just really tuned in with your heart space, your heart center, and listening with an open heart and open mind to really get the most from the session. So, without further ado, please enjoy this episode of the podcast.
Thank you so much, Katerina, for the invitation again, and so happy to be here with you and having this opportunity to share a lot of topics with you. My name is Ghada. I come from Tunisia and I live in Germany right now for several years. So I am a women's holistic health coach, and I work with women who are dealing with hormonal imbalances, and especially PCOS, which is, for people who don't know it, is a condition called polycystic ovary syndrome, and it has symptoms around acne, losing the period, and infertility. And I'm helping women to heal the root causes of this condition, and actually physically and emotionally, and coming back to alignment, coming back to harmony in their body, and really uncovering their passions, their their wisdom, their what they are here to share in this life. So that's actually what I'm doing. And
Wow, I feel like it's such powerful work that you're doing, because I think so many women are facing, really just uncomfortable and mysterious symptoms that I feel like all comes down to maybe PCOS as one of the main root causes, I guess, or the underlying, condition that causes all of these symptoms. But I feel like the root cause of that is what you introduced that towards the end of what you shared there, is like, feeling disconnected from our passion and our purpose, and like general just not feeling lustful for life, right?
I feel it's this alignment with our values, with our true self, what we came here to do. Because like most of us are born in a society, and we got programmed by this society, and we forget why we came here, and we forget our true self. And in this journey, like, we get a lot of wake-up calls. And for me, PCOS has been personally a wake-up call, and I see it in everyone I'm working with, and many people I know, that it's a wake-up call to remind you, why did you came here? Like, what are you doing in your life? Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you living your purpose? That's really the underlying of this.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like that ties beautifully into the topic that we want to bring up today. So if you could just introduce a little bit on this topic really quick before we jump into a brief meditation, just kind of share with everyone what we have in store for them in our conversation today.
Yeah. Well, for today, I'd like to discuss with you a topic that is, I'm passionate about, which is hormonal imbalances in women, and really discussing the why. Because, as you said, women are dealing with mysterious symptoms, and they're not getting the help by the medical system because they don't have the answers on why. Like, why did I develop this? Why did I get this condition? So it's great to dive deep into those reasons, to the why, like why women, almost every woman I know is dealing with some sort of hormonal imbalance. And let's dive deep and ask the why, like why are we getting sick? Why are women are hormonal imbalanced? So yeah, that's our topic for today.
Yes, I think that there are some like golden nuggets in there that we're going to share today that are hopefully going to be like these light bulb moments for anyone watching, and hopefully can just help to start any women who are watching this who may be facing uncomfortable symptoms or challenges, just start to connect some of these dots that will help to like carry them along their path.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and maybe like we jump into the meditation and then we start with first, yeah, like the symptoms on what does it mean hormonal imbalances and how does women are getting diagnosed with that and all the stuff, and then diving deeper into the whys and the
Yeah, that
reasons.
sounds like a wonderful plan. Yeah, so I'm ready. I'm ready if you're ready. You can dive
Let's round a bit, and it would be so brief but beautiful. So let's close our eyes and feel comfortable to relax the body. And yeah, let's take some deep breaths, 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. Now you can come back to natural breathing, in through the nose, out through the nose. And pay attention to the breath for a moment. Feel the air filling your belly, your chest when you inhale, and feel the contraction when you exhale. You are safe to relax your body. Just scan your body from head to toes and feel where do you hold some tension, and breathe into this place. Maybe it's your shoulders, maybe in the neck, maybe in your face or jaws or eyes, maybe your arms or legs or knees. Now let's bring our awareness to the root chakra, to the base of our spine, and just breathe into this space. Breathe deep breaths into the base of your spine. Fill the space with air. Now imagine an energetical cord starting from this space, from your root chakra, and traveling down into the earth. Imagine it traveling through the layers of the ground, the earth, the rocks, going deeper and deeper, deeper and deeper, until it reaches the center of the earth and anchors you there. Feel how supported you are. Feel how safe you are in this moment. You are held, you are supported, you are loved. Feel the energy of Mama Earth. Feel her loving maternal energy. You're grounded into Mama Earth right now. And this moment, feel free to release everything that you're carrying on with you, any fears, anxiety, anger, worries, anything that you feel ready to let go of. Just release it through this cord and give it to the earth. She lovingly willing to take it from you. Just give it to her. Imagine those thoughts, those worries, those emotions in this core like black clouds leaving your body through this cord and going down into the earth. Your body is feeling lighter and lighter as you release any darkness, any heaviness. Beautiful. Now come back to the breath and pay attention to the inhale and exhale. Remembering that this is your gateway into the presence moment, and every time you feel overwhelmed with thoughts and projecting in the future or fears from the past, just come back to the breath, knowing that this is your gateway into this moment, into the now. Now slowly and gently come back to the present moment and moving your body very slowly, starting with your fingers and your toes, your neck. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Wow, that was wonderful. I definitely feel lighter.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And yeah, for everyone who's watching, you can do that every day. It's a couple of minutes that really grounds you into the earth, and you come back into the body and into on the ground. You feel grounded, anchored. That's
Yeah.
a good way to start your days. And yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that, Ghada. I'm sure everyone is feeling so much peace after that and just ready to jump in and dive into our topic. So we wanted to start off with some of the symptoms that might come up around, hormonal imbalance in women. So if you want to just share a little bit about what you've seen maybe within yourself, but just also maybe in your clients, like what are the most common symptoms you would say?
Right, like when we say hormonal imbalances, it's really so wide and broad, and
Mhm,
there are many, many conditions that enters under this name of hormonal imbalances. And the most common symptoms or conditions related to that are slow metabolism, as really what I'm seeing in many, many women who can't lose weight easily and
mhm,
can gain weight in minutes. And the other one is thyroid issues. Like thyroid issues, many, many women are dealing with hypothyroid or hyperthyroid or Hashimoto's or any other issues, but especially the thyroid is like controlling the temperature in our bodies, and many women are dealing with feeling hands and feet are cold, and this is a very common one that indicates hypothyroid most of the time.
mm,
And yeah, we have also PCOS, which is another conditions that has many symptoms and different symptoms from person to person. Some of them are acne, cystic acne, and like irregular period or losing the period, absence of the period. Um, we also have hirsutism, like excess growing of hair in the face, especially, and like the breasts and like the parts where normally women like don't have hair in.
mhm,
Um, yeah, and we have also adrenal fatigue, which is very, very common. And so for people who don't know that adrenals are the glands, they like on the top of the kidneys,
mhm,
and they um yeah, they are responsible for adrenaline and cortisol, and they are very like they get burnout from stress, and so we experience like the fatigue syndrome, as they call it. And yeah, it's another type of hormonal imbalances actually. And yeah, yeah, also infertility and low libido and issues, yeah, like in the intercourse, they are also related to hormonal imbalances. So
mhm,
as you see, it's really a bright topic, and like almost every woman I know is dealing with one or the other from those symptoms or conditions. And it's, yeah, it's a wake up call for us to start asking, like, why are women getting sick like that? Why are women getting those hormonal imbalances like never before in our
mhm.
society? What are we
Yeah.
doing wrong? Maybe it's a good, like I feel it's important to ask the why question most of the
Mhm,
time. um yeah, because most of the time we are, yeah, the medical system is yeah, curing symptoms, like it's just covering up symptoms. And the most important is to ask those underlying, like to find the underlying causes behind those issues, like why are women dealing with those issues in the first place, so that we
mhm,
start addressing those root causes and bringing the body and the soul and the mind into balance again, which
mhm,
will be, yeah, like change lives.
mm,
Like,
mhm. Yeah, I totally resonate with you. I definitely agree that if someone is wanting to achieve like long lasting, long term
health and healing, and they don't want to be on medication for the rest of their life, and they really want to feel truly liberated and free from it. I feel like we would need to ask those difficult questions, or we would need to dig just a little bit deeper to see, what may be the actual cause. And sometimes it's not always like super straightforward. It's not like there's a textbook that's explaining all of this. It's like a lot of it has to come from like kind of piecing together how these different things fit together in my own experience in my own life, and kind of like telling a story. Like we have our illnesses have like their own personal stories as to why they're here.
True, yeah, true, so true. And I think it's great to observe, to start to watch our experience and experience of people we know, or for us, like people we're working with. And it's important to, as you said, there is no book where everything is stated, and we are still searching, we are still like looking for answers, and everyone is able to provide us with new answers. And that's the most beautiful thing in healing, that's no one has all the answers,
Mhm.
and everyone has a part of it. And if people and healers come together and really exchange those things, and we'll have a bigger picture, like we'll have and more understanding about those symptoms, about those issues, and that will help generations to get better health, and to really live radiantly and happily, and really living in alignment with their purposes.
Yeah, I feel that. I think there's been this theme or this pattern in humanity where there's so much competition between
Mm.
doctors or experts, and instead of coming together and like like putting together knowledge and getting that like broader picture of perspective, it's almost like the health industry, at least up until now, has been very like divided, and it's kind of limiting what we can start to understand about the body. But I do feel like that's changing now. I feel like people are able to speak their voice and like share their own experiences. And I do feel like some of these pieces are kind of coming together, even though I feel like we also have a little way to go. Maybe a long way to go until we actually get to where this is like very mainstream and it's very normal to talk about these things in public, and where everybody knows what you're talking about and that kind of thing. Can you relate?
Yeah, well, I can relate. I feel it's humanity is waking up, and in this awakening, they're getting this point of competition and the importance of coming together, because we come from the same source and we'll be back to the same source. Why getting in this competition and coming together? Like, I love the saying, we're stronger together, and this is true. Like, the energy will be amplified when healers and people like light workers come together in love, and like in honor of a great mission to help humanity, to help finding answers for those mysterious issues. And I feel it's beautiful, and it's, as you said, like it's getting more and more like yeah in our society right now. It's now very more common than 10 years ago or 20 years ago that people are speaking about those issues. And yeah, like even 6 years ago or 7 years ago, as I got diagnosed with PCOS, like I was searching on YouTube, there was not a lot of information, and especially informations in the holistic way. Like the most infos I got at the time were about the mainstream version of getting the pill, and waiting your whole life with this. That's it, that's your only, like you need, like you have only one option. But now I feel it's really everyone is speaking up and bringing up new solutions, and people are looking yeah, outside of the mainstream media. That's also so beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just kind of thinking back as you're talking on my experience. Like one of the first symptoms that developed for me was actually hirsutism. And I think
Mm.
that started when I was like 20, let's say like 22 or something like that. And like that was like 10 years ago, you know. No, less than 10 years ago. That was like 8 years ago. Just to tell everyone what my age is. But like, yeah, so that was like 8 years ago. And like you, like, because you said maybe 7 years ago you were starting to research this. Well, I was like researching about hirsutism because I'm like, none of my friends have this. And like, why do I have this? Like, it's definitely not something that you want to have when you're like a 22-year-old girl, right? When you're a 22-year-old woman. And so I was like trying to look for information and like there was just no, yeah, absolutely no information on hirsutism, especially not on how to heal it. It was like maybe I would find like a forum or something. And then the women in the forum would be like, oh, that's totally normal. I have that. You just have to shave it off or wax it off or something. And I'm just like, but that doesn't give me the answer that I'm looking for. Like, I don't want to have to shave it or wax it off. Like, I want to understand why it's happening so I can help my body get back to, I would say, like normal or like back into balance. So yeah, it was just like so frustrating. And
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot of people whoever finds this video, maybe they can relate to that sort of like frustration and that just anxiety of having a symptom that you don't know how to get get rid of, I guess, for lack of better terms.
right. Yeah. Oh, it's a great piece, this of really feeling that this is your fault somehow, that something is wrong with you. Like, as well, I was diagnosed with PCOS and no one in my environment really heard about that at the time. And I was thinking that something was wrong with me, that,
Mm.
yeah, I was ashamed of that. And that was, yeah, maybe, yeah, one reason the condition got worse, because shame and emotional
Yeah.
state is so important in healing. And yeah, and also you said that this is normal, like you hear it's normal, I have it too. And that's the big one right now. We're normalizing all the
Mhm.
symptoms, and this is so common. We're normalizing PMS, we're normalizing heavy periods, painful periods, we're
Yeah.
normalizing getting like cold hands, we're normalizing everything. It's okay. Like, women are coming here to suffer.
Mhm.
That's really the message to it. We have to live with those symptoms and suffer along our lives. And that's it. That's why we came here. That's how God designed us, in a way, to suffer. That's really the message that many people are giving, and that's really not true. Right
Yeah.
now I can recognize that the experience of the period is so different than I had years ago, where it was so painful. I had to suffer, and yeah, like it was really kind of torture for me to have the period. And I used to hate this time of the month, because I was not living, I was in suffer. So right
Mhm.
now my experience is, yeah, it's so different, like the opposite of that. And I can feel how beautiful our bodies are, and how intelligent this body and the period and the sacred blood is. And it's really, yeah, one of maybe the reasons that we'll be talking about hormonal imbalances is how we treat our bodies and how we see our female body. Is it dirty? Is it bad? Is it for suffering? Is it beautiful? Like, our perception is really bringing us those conditions as well. It's one of the reasons
Mm.
why.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like if you tell yourself that you're suffering during that time of the month, or if you don't treat your body well, your body is going to reflect that. Your body is going to reflect what you are telling it? What stories are you reinforcing? What truths are you reinforcing? You know, and I think one of the ways to start getting out of these conditions that we have or these symptoms that we have is to start really just becoming aware of how we view our bodies, how we view our femininity, how we view these natural cycles that we go through each month, and almost like learning how to almost learning how to just like fully embrace that femininity and like own it, like how to own it, because that's like where we have so much power in that. Only we
Yeah.
have a cycle. You know,
Right,
so it's
right.
like
Process, right? It's a process of that's healing. That's healing, that we come back to this state of honoring the body, honoring that we are women. It's a gift. Like, it's not a torture. We're not here to be suffering every month. We're here to, yeah, to get downloads. We're here to guide through our intuition in those periods. And yeah, this shift in consciousness, this shift in perceiving our bodies and ourselves and our femininity is actually the healing, is the how we can step from this side to the other side of healing, like of being in the body, being happy, being like the harmony. I feel the harmony between body, mind, and soul. It's the state that I call healing. It's really not only the physical body and the symptoms, it's really coming to alignment and to harmony with those three levels of mind, soul, and body.
mhm,
There are things that we're doing daily, and yeah, and ways we're living our lives, which many people don't think that they are contributing to their conditions, but they are. So it's great to shed the light on those
mhm,
things in our lifestyle to, yeah, like to make people aware of that.
mhm.
That's is
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, that's a wonderful thing to bring up are some of the whys. And I kind of feel like the whys are like, you know, everyone wants to blame it on, oh, it's PCOS. And
Mm.
but the PCOS isn't the issue. It's a symptom of an underlying cause, an underlying issue. And I kind of see those whys as like the underlying causes and things that are creating the imbalance. So if you want to kind of illuminate us on what your perspectives are as to like what some of these roots are, what some of these deeper whys are that kind of contributes to these hormonal imbalances and these symptoms in women.
Yeah, I totally agree first that the names of conditions are just names that we gave to them, but they have underlying causes, underlying roots. That's why they like those symptoms develop it in the first place. And I think there are levels on that. On there is the physical and biological level, which is the body and the environment, and there is the emotional and energetical level. And maybe we can start with the most obvious that people can see and touch, which
Mhm,
is more obvious. It's what we consume and what's in our environment and how we live our lifestyle. And yeah, like the first thing that I see is really, yeah, contributing in that is the lifestyle that women are living, how women are living their lives from a perspective of men. Like, women are trying to be like men. And I find this shadow part of feminist, yeah, thing that really women are different than men and their biology is different, and we need to honor that. Like, women working 40 hours a week like men, or in jobs for men, is not going to make women being men. Or, and I feel it's in like the underlying thing around behind that is that women are trying to get the respect and the, yeah, like acceptance from society like men is getting. So let's be like men. to get those things, and this is messing up with your hormones and with your health, because women are designed biologically to be different than men. Like women and men are complementary and not really against each other, but not really this equality of it's somehow distorted in itself, the how they explain it. And like, as you know, women having a cycle where hormones changes during the cycle, and we have seasons, like the seasons in the year. We have the winter, we have the summer, we have the autumn, we have the spring. Like it's different, and our energy will really change during our cycle, and our need for rest will change. So when we don't honor that, when we just work all the month the same way, we're working every day and we're just living our lives the same without considering those emotions, like those hormones, like it's normal that something will get wrong, like that it will be somehow an issue. So I feel that's one very, very important one in the whys. And I also feel in this lifestyle thing that we don't honor the biological hour as well. Like we started as a society to like be up late and to just get up in the morning very late, and it's really messing up with the circadian rhythm, because our body is very intelligent, and every like organ in the Chinese medicine, every organ has a time where it will be detoxified, or it will be cleansed. And when we don't honor that and we be up, for example, until 1 p.m., we don't honor the time where the liver and the gallbladder are getting cleansed in the like the 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. So it will be so stressful for the body to do this work, and the body will at some point just break out and say, no, I can't go further anymore. So it's really, and like we have to consider that women's body are different than men, and they are very sensitive to hormones and to changes, and to, because women have many like more hormones than men, and they have a complex yeah ratios of hormones that are sensitive, and all those changes in the lifestyle can really evoke the imbalance in the hormones. So that's one reason of it. And like lifestyle, we also have to mention what we eat, because we're living a lifestyle of fast food, processed food, and eating all the time. Like every hour we're eating something, drinking something. We have sugar, we have the dairy, which is really messing up with female hormones. And like those are the reasons, in my opinion, the underlying roots of these conditions on a lifestyle level, like how women are living their lives. So I don't know if you have anything else to add on that.
On the physical level, I feel like you touched so many good points here, and I think that it's gonna like ring a lot of bells for people, because I think we kind of all see this in our I think we all kind of see this in our lives, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. But I think like the one thing I want to add is just all of the toxins that are all around us. Like we kind of live in a toxic world these days. It's really, really difficult to avoid. It's just difficult to avoid with the way that society operates. We would have to kind of be living in the middle of nowhere in like a forest in a cabin or something like that to really be able to like avoid a lot of the toxins that we're exposed to. And I'm not saying that to like frighten or scare anyone, because ultimately I do believe that our body is capable of processing these toxins and and eliminating them from the body. But I do feel like because of the lifestyles that we've led up until this point, it's like really difficult for the organs to be able to keep up with all of these toxins that we're exposing ourselves to, or that we are exposed to. And so I feel like now we just have to be even more conscious and aware of that. And okay, now what am I going to do to like help to balance out all of the toxins that are coming in? So maybe that would be like being more conscious of detox methods and these kinds of things, which maybe like in generations before, they didn't have to do detoxes, right? So it's like if you tell your parents or your grandparents, oh, I'm going to do a detox, they're like, what's that? You know, like they're like, that sounds crazy, like, right? But it's like now with all of the toxins that we have, like we kind of have to just be more mindful and conscious of the fact that like we just live in a different world, and so we have to kind of implement some of those things into our daily lives, I think, to help balance
Yeah.
things out.
Oh, wow, yeah, toxicity is absolutely one of the main root causes of hormonal imbalances in women and as well in men. Like we're talking about women, but we like don't forget that men have also many hormonal issues that not many men are really able and courageous to talk about. And so toxicity is a big one for everyone living on this earth right now. And yeah, as you said, is difficult to avoid, but we have some, like we can avoid some part of it, like many things. Like for example, we have for the female body, we have the xenoestrogens, which are the chemical compounds in plastics and in all like the plastic things on this planet. And like for me personally, in the last 3 years, I could really reduce the plastic use at minimum. And like the shopping bag, you can have a non-plastic and reusable shopping bag. You can have a bottle, like a water bottle, which is BPA free or glass. Or and one of the really sources of toxicity in women are the commercial menstruation pads, which are really filled with pesticide and plastics and all the stuff. It's so toxic, and we're putting it in a really sensitive place that can absorb all of that. So
Yeah.
it's really simple to replace that by reusable cotton pads or by the menstruation cup. They are really some simple steps, but they can really have huge impact on your health in terms of toxicity. And as you said, like searching about detox and being open to try that and to cleanse your body from time to time is so important. Like I totally agree that people 50 years ago didn't have to deal with detox, and but for now is so important. Like our bodies can't handle anymore those toxins, and we need to help our bodies to get rid of the toxicity and to really cleanse them. So yeah, and yeah, to be honest, like detox is another controversial topic where many people have many opinions on that.
Right. I think the problem with that is like when you say detox, everyone has like automatically they get an idea of what that means. But there are so many different kinds of, it's kind of like meditation. When you say meditation, people get like this idea of what it's supposed to look like. And I feel like it's the same when you say detox. But I feel like just being open-minded to just maybe some of the more gentler ways that you can detox. And that might just be eating clean for like a week or something, just to give your body a break from eating processed foods. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say intuition, like coming back to intuition, what your heart is saying with that. Is it really true for you? Is it right for you right now to try this modality or the other? And I'm seeing many people harming their bodies with going so fast into detox and fasting, and
Mhm.
it's not really, yeah, advisable to do that. Like, it needs to be systematic and gentle and slow and feminine.
Yeah.
So because
Yeah.
the feminine body, we started with hormones and it's sensitive, and fasting for long hours or shocking the body with harsh detox will not
Yeah. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
be beneficial for the hormones.
Yeah, I kind of view it as like an upkeep, like a routine cleaning, like kind of like if you would get your teeth cleaned once a month or something. It's kind of like that. Just kind of like keeping the pipes clean.
Yeah, and I think it's a journey as well. Like, we don't have a rush. Like unless people have cancer or like a condition that they need to go deep into fasting to save their lives or so. That's another topic, but we need to go slow and knowing that this is a journey and we will have ups and downs and periods of emotional eating and periods
Mhm.
of fasting, and
Yeah.
yeah, considering the fact that we eat emotionally. And for many people, going straight away in a 40-day fast will bring up a lot of emotions, and if they are not ready to handle those emotions, they will cope with anything, like with food, with alcohol, with relationships, with like, yeah, maybe binging on TV or anything that they would cope with to avoid feeling those emotions. So really, detox need to be on a level where we are ready to handle those emotions that will come up, and we're ready to process them, to
Mhm.
integrate them to the whole.
Yes, yes. I think it needs to be done from like a really grounded place, like when we feel like, yeah, just like that intuitive grounded place of like, I know that this way, this next step, maybe that's detox. I know that feels right and good for me. It's not because I'm thinking, oh, that person over there is doing it and they're doing it in that way, and I think I should try that. It's not about that. It's about just coming back to yourself and really being honest and just feeling into what feels the most aligned, I think, in the moment. That's always the answer. But
True.
so we
Yeah.
covered a lot of the physical aspects. What would you say some of like the emotional reasons or the emotional whys are for hormonal imbalances?
Yeah, I just remembered one um, physical reason, and it's a big one actually,
Okay.
especially from my experience, is the birth control pill and
Oh, yes.
how it messes up with hormones. Like, it's really like many, let's see, like there are birth control pills that they are for contraception, that doctors give for contraception, and there are the pills that they give for PCOS to manage the absence of period or to manage the acne or whatever.
Mhm.
And those pills contain hormones, synthetic hormones, synthetic estrogen and progesterone, and the body doesn't can't handle those, like doesn't know what are those chemicals. Like, it's not really something that the body is familiar with, and by the time and by really getting yeah, like your ovaries or your glands by the time will be sluggish, and they will not produce the amounts of hormones that they have to produce, because they are getting some synthetic from the outside, and they would say, I don't have to produce hormones anymore. It's really messing up with the hormones and the whole harmony of the body, and in many cases it's another cause of like ovarian cancer and those issues. So I would say, like, we're not here to advise anyone to take anything or not, or to come off something or not, but just make your research, because many people don't hear that from their doctors, don't hear that on Google, don't find that on the most ranked things on Google page on Google.
Mhm.
So please make your research, your own research, and come back to your body and feel, is that feeling good for you to continue taking pill or to start taking that pill or not, because it's not really as simple as taking a small pill in the evening, and it really has lots of impact on female health and the whole body's health actually.
Yeah, I really feel that. I never did take the pill, but I can definitely, like, even just when I think about like if I put that option on the table for me right now, it would be a hard no. Because I'm just like I I feel like it would, I could just feel like the pain that it would cause, I think. And
Yeah.
yeah, just sending that encouragement and that love for anyone who is considering getting off of it, because I know that's a scary thing. And I know you know that better than I do, how scary it is to come off of it if they are
Because
feeling that like that's the right move for them.
yeah, and what I can say is ask for help. Ask for help because it needs some time for transition. And for me, I did it on my own. I really didn't transition. And the months afterwards were horrible with acne. And it was so painful for me. So transitioning and like having this period of like supporting the body with the right supplements and right food and transitioning out of this before coming off the pill is so important. And if you don't have really the knowledge to do it on your own, ask for help. Many people are now really helping women to transition off the period and to really have a smooth transition, so to say.
I want to really stress what you just said there. If you're not comfortable with doing it yourself, or you don't know how to start, please like seek help, because there are people out there who are more than able and willing to help. And I think that could really eliminate a lot of the stress and a lot of the worry of having to make a
Yeah.
decision like that on your own, for sure.
Right. And really, like many people got discouraged after getting off the pill and losing the period for a some time, and having symptoms coming back, and many in a horrible way. Like, so it may be discouraging for some, and they will come back to taking the pill again. So really having this transition and make it slowly with the help of someone, if you can do it on your own, is so important.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really helps to have someone who has gone through that before, to be like, no, it's okay, just keep going. Because I think when we're on a healing journey, it can feel like we're going backwards, when actually we're making a lot of progress forwards, because we kind of
Right.
have this sort of like healing crisis, and it feels like things are getting worse for a little while before they start getting better, before you're down here, and then it swings up, and then until it like balances out.
Yeah, it's also about suppression, because those pills or those medications are just suppressing the symptoms and shutting them down. And when you just come off it, the body will just bring everything out. Like everything will be the truth. Like we'll see the truth. You were avoiding, you were hiding. Now it's the truth, and we need to see the truth before we jump into healing. Like
Yeah.
we need to have this, as you said, the healing crisis, but it's a normal phase.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for touching on that. That was definitely a really important thing to bring up. Do you feel ready to dive into some of the more maybe like emotional components?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like as we talked about the last time, and we always say that although the physical level is important and is contributing in those issues, but in my opinion, is the emotional and energetical blueprint, and the really traumas are what making those things manifesting in the physical level. And for, as we said, hormonal imbalances is so broad, and we can't really touch on every emotional aspect behind it. But let's like simplify that in PCOS, or the issues that women are dealing with in sexual organs or in related to reproduction. And because that's a field that I'm working in, and I have more knowledge in it. So, and I think like we touched on one thing that's in the beginning, to honor our femininity and to accept and to really bow down to this female body. And I feel that's one of the emotional or energetical reasons, is that we refuse being a woman. We disgust from being a woman, from having a bloody period every month. For some women, this is dirty. And so thinking that, believing in that, and feeling all the shame, all the, yeah, disgusting from having the period, as you said, the body will just get that and act on that, because that's the message you're giving to your body, that it's dirty, it's bad, it's not good. So really considering how we perceive our bodies, how we treat our bodies, how we see ourselves, how we see being a woman. Like, are you really honored to be a woman in this life, or are you feeling it's bringing me suffering and I would rather be a man than being a woman? That's one of the most, I feel, yeah, of the biggest reasons behind hormonal imbalance and PCOS specifically, is like rejecting the femininity, rejecting being a woman. In its, yeah, in its whole, like a woman is very complex as a like as a word, but are we accepting being a woman?
Oh my gosh, something you just said there, like, I would rather be a man than a woman. I can't tell you how many times I've heard someone say that when they were having their period. They're like, I'd rather be a man than a woman and not have to deal with this. And it's like, if that's the message you're sending to your body, well, okay, so your body's like, okay, so you'd rather be a man. So here's hirsutism, here's no period, here's more
Right.
testosterone or something like that. So it's like, it's giving us all of the things that we asked for,
Yeah.
you know?
Actually, oh yeah, it's a good one. Like, yeah, the body's saying, be a man. Here it is. Like, yeah, and absolutely. I hear that many times from my environment. And I was one of the people believing that it's bad, it's dirty. And I'm not, yeah, I'm not fulfilled being a woman. It's not safe to be a woman in this world.
That's
And
an important one. Yeah, it's not
yeah,
safe to
it's
be a
about
woman.
safety.
I think a lot of women feel that, even maybe not like at a conscious level, maybe they're not consciously walking around and thinking like, oh, I'm so unsafe just because I'm a woman, but it's like kind of encoded in our ancestral like energetics, right? In our ancestry, that it's not safe to be a woman. So even we might be walking around and just thinking at an unconscious level that we're not safe.
Yeah, well, like safety is a big one, I think. And as you said, it's ancestral as well. And I remember like um uh, yeah, like Eckhart Tolle was speaking about the pain body, and it's just emotional body, the pain body. Is that, yeah, he called the pain body, and he said that for women they have a heavier pain body, which is the collective female pain body, because women through centuries, they like had to deal with rapes, with really children lost, with like abuse from men, like in many ways. And this is just stored in the collective energetical female body, actually. And we are part of this collective, and we feel it. It's stored there. And if, as you said, like, it doesn't have to be consciously that you are like thinking, yeah, for now I'm not safe being a woman, but on a subconscious level, which is the 95% of your actions, of what you create on the outside, is coming from the subconscious and not the conscious. So it's really important to consider that and to work on the traumas. And maybe with people who are really specialized in ancestral traumas and ancestral like blueprint, and that's
Mhm.
a big one. And I feel in some regions of the world there are heavier pain bodies than others, and
Mhm.
it's because of the histories and the ancestrals, and that's why it's somehow not only the conscious what we're seeing and what we're touching is there, but things that are stored in our subconscious mind that are
Mhm.
creating those issues as well.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, totally agree on that. Hmm. What do you think about like the emotions that we have on a daily basis that we might be aware of, but maybe we're not aware that we kind of suppress them and we don't let them out? How does that impact us? How does that impact our bodies?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the contributions in that. But as women, we are programmed not to feel everything, is not
Mhm.
allowed to feel angry, is not allowed for a woman to feel everything. She needs to suppress that, she needs to like cover it up and not feel in it. And in our society she doesn't have the time even to feel that. Women
Mhm.
are just multifunctioning, from work to work at home to children to husband to it's really like a lifestyle where she doesn't even have the time and the space for herself to
Mhm.
feel those emotions.
Oh my gosh.
And by the time suppressing, like it's normal that the body would just react to that because suppressed emotions are stored in the body. They won't go anywhere. Like if you don't feel it, it will be there. It will block the energy in some of the chakras. And for really the those reproductive issues, it's in the lower chakras, the lower three chakras are blocked, and even the throat chakra are blocked, and the energy is not flowing as it should be. And this is a cause of physical diseases. Like it will take time maybe, but
Mhm.
it's there, like the physical manifestation of it will come sooner or later. So yeah, that's another piece of how to heal, is to start feeling, to
Mhm.
start really, yeah, making the energy flowing, whatever the emotion is moving through you, let it move. And this takes exercise, this take time to for you to start being familiar with how to feel emotions. Like, many people are asking, how can I feel my emotions? Like we
Mhm.
forgot how to feel
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah, there's
It's
so many like there's so much numbness in people these days. And it's like we don't even a lot of people don't even realize it because they're just kind of so busy, like very disconnected from the body. And it's like, oh, at the end of the day, they just go to bed and it's like, when did they connect with their emotions during that day? Probably not at all, you know? So I
yeah.
feel like,
Absolutely. And we cope a lot. Like, as you said, we live in a numb world where it's not good to feel emotions. It's not
mhm,
good, like, especially what we call negative emotions. It's not good to feel them. And so we have to cope with that. And being busy and having a lot of things to do is one of the things we cope with too. Because when we sit silently and we sit in stillness, we can't really avoid those emotions. They will, yeah, be louder and louder, and we can't avoid them anymore. So we just tend to be busy and to do all the time, to have
yeah,
something to do. And
yeah.
yeah,
And I think the big reason why that happens is because many of us never learned how to like channel that energy as children. And so now when we're adults, when it comes to actually sitting down with yourself and spending time with your emotions, it's like there's almost this part of us that feels like so overwhelmed to actually do it that we'll do anything that we can to avoid doing that.
yeah,
Um,
that's
so
true.
And like one thing I want to bring up too is for women, like we are supposed to, as women, we are supposed to be feeling, we're supposed to be sensing, we're supposed to be emotive. And I feel like it's kind of this like, I feel like some women might feel like they're trapped between a rock and a hard place because as children they were taught that we were taught that we shouldn't like show our emotions, especially anger. I know I was shamed a lot for getting angry when I was a child, so that was like an emotion that was very shamed. But then when we get older, then sometimes women become almost like over emotional where they like can't stop crying. It's like a little commercial on the TV or something will make you cry or something, and even that is shamed. It's like, oh, why are you crying at that little thing? So it's like women are shamed for having emotions, and then they just don't know. It's like, how do we balance? It's like, how do they balance that, you know? So I feel like I kind of want to go into like just giving some tips on how to like start connecting with this like feminine energy and like how to start embracing that. I'd say like one thing that really helps to like start awakening and to like start awakening that feminine energy and to like start harnessing it in a way rather than it controlling you is that we have to like embrace our sensing self. Like we have to embrace the senses that we have, whether that's like physical senses, but also our emotional senses, which I kind of think are like, that's like our intuition. That's like our connection with our intuition. Because if we're not feeling things, if we're not feeling our emotions, we're very shut down and cut off from our intuition.
Right, right. Yeah, there is gold in being sensitive and being emotional because women are, as you said, supposed to have emotions more than men and to feel like the female body is a vessel for emotions more than it's for men. And in our society, it is not safe for a woman to feel those emotions. She has to be like men to survive. And so she shuts down her emotional body and suppresses her feelings. And yeah, that's really how to start coming to feeling. And but before, like I would only just say that really what you said about intuition and how feeling our emotions is just bringing us back into sensitivity. And sensitivity is good because we can be more connected with source, and being that connected we could listen to the spirit, we could listen to the voice inside and get downloads and really be like follow this intuition, this voice that's guiding us from higher self, from what our soul is desiring, and like living aligned in alignment to that, to our true center, to higher self. And maybe what I got as how to start coming back into this sensitivity and to feel in emotions, as we said, like awareness, we said that at the beginning, being aware is always the first step, like awareness of what am I feeling, just checking with you, with yourself, what am I feeling at the moment? Am I allowing myself to feel this emotion or not? Why am I not allowing myself to feel it? Like when in the past did it really start, when I suppressed this feeling and didn't allow myself to feel it? And awareness is number one as a step. So to start to be in moment to moment, being aware, how are you feeling? Are you really feeling that or suppressing it? And then we have the embodiment tools like dancing, like jumping, like yoga, like those things that flow with the body and making the breath flowing with the body, and you are just moving and moving energy as well. It helps with really those blocked emotions, this blocked energies in your chakras, that they will start moving. And so it's for me, dancing was great to connect back to my feminine energy, to really feel again. Sometimes I had to cry through dancing, and I had to really, yeah, like release some energies, some blocked emotions, and let them go. Like it's great. It's good to release emotions. It's not bad to cry. It's not bad to feel angry. It's not bad to have any emotion on this earth. Everything is good. Every emotion has a lesson, or has a reason for being there, and allowing it to move through the body will keep you as a vessel, and it's an energy moving through you. But the moment you resist that, it will be stuck somewhere, and it will be the reason for a physical like illness manifestation. So yeah, maybe you can add on some tips with how to really come back to feeling and to connecting with the feminine side. Yeah.
I would
And I
say
know
another thing.
that to dancing, maybe you have experience with that, or yoga, or
Oh,
like
yeah, I've done a little bit of yoga before. I feel like I need to do it more, and I feel like there's a part of me resisting it, and I feel like that's why, because I think there's some emotions in that for me, and I think we're always going to feel some level of resistance when we're going into something that's going to be really powerful for us. So I'm very aware of that, and gently easing into that next chapter for me. But one thing that I would also suggest to just start, yeah, getting in more into the feminine, is to start tracking the cycle and to start moving with the seasons of your cycle, of your menstrual cycle. Because as you said, there are different seasons, and just like the seasons, like here on Earth, each season has its own flavor and its own purpose and its own like energy and its own vibrancy. And so really just honoring your own personal seasons and cycles can help you to start like really getting in tune with maybe your more emotional self, and to get in tune with some of the sensitivities and sensations that you may be feeling in your body, and to just start like just maybe taking a little bit of notes as to what sort of things come up for you during each cycle, and what patterns you start noticing, like what kinds of things start arising, because I think there are some powerful like clues and messages in that too.
wow, this is an amazing piece you brought up. And yeah, I feel as well, just starting to reconnect with the body, starting to know your body, because women don't know their bodies. That's a fact. They don't know the biology of their bodies, or really how does it function, or the seasons of their cycle, or like they need to reconnect with the body to really have this knowing, like really like a baby seeing the world for the first time. Suppose that you don't know anything about this body, and starting to tap into and yeah, feel, maybe massage your body and feel where you feel numb, where you feel contracted, where you feel open, and starting to, yeah, to really cultivate this relationship, to nourish your relationship with the body. And to, it's I feel it's the first step into honoring being in a female body, into honoring the period, into honoring the intelligence of this female cycle, of the seasons of the cycle, starting to learn about that. And maybe if you like don't have any idea about the season and the cycle, just seek help and search on Google or YouTube, and or find a professional help on someone who guides you through that, and really start to hear and to, yeah, to know this body. I feel that's the
Yeah.
message. Know your body.
Yeah, to know the body. And a message that just came for me too is also, I feel like in tracking the cycle and really understanding the different seasons, I feel like it gives a woman so much permission to rest when she needs to rest, and to go inward when she needs to go inward, and to, yeah, like just each season has its own purpose, as I said. And I think it just gives us that permission to go with our flow, to go with the flow, and to not put so much pressure on ourselves to behave or act in a certain way, or in society's standards, or in anything like that, but to really just align our actions with what our body is telling us to do.
Right, right. And I think one big piece in that is accepting that women's body and men's body are different. That's, I feel, the foundation of starting to honoring the body, is that we are different than men, and we have different needs, and the body has changes through the cycle, and every season has its own needs, and like energy would change, and eating habits would change, craving would change, then how you feel and how sensitive you are would change. Like there are periods, like the time before you're getting your bleeding would be more emotional than the other part of the cycle, and being aware of that gives you, as you said, the permission to feel, to it's okay to feel that. It's not bad, it's not minorative to be in a female body and feel those emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a lot of that feels really complete for me. I guess the only other piece I want to bring up is that, as women, we don't need to go out so much and seek for the recognition and fame that a man would, to just kind of bring this like full circle. Because I know at the beginning of our conversation, we kind of mentioned that women are kind of seeking for the same recognition and respect as men may get in the world. But all a woman needs to do is to claim her femininity and let things come to her. Like we are not the seekers, we are the magnets. We attract. We're so powerful that we attract so much to us. Whereas like I feel like men are more of like the seekers. They go out, they find the food, they catch the food, they bring it back home. But we just have to sit back and wait for it to come to us,
Yeah,
And I feel
yeah.
like that's so important to just really start understanding as a woman, because it just helps us to really accept that sort of energy, that like that's like our power, right? We're kind of in our power when we're just letting things come to us in a way.
Yeah, well, that's a great one. And what came through me is receiveness, like allowing ourselves to receive. And believe me, and I would say you can relate to that. That's really allowing yourself to receive and surrender and receive love or receive things to come to you is not easy, because we're programmed to reject that because we have to deserve it. Somehow, if we don't do anything to get it, we don't deserve it. And that's really a distorted belief in our society that is against being a woman, because women can really receive, as I said, we're a magnet, and really the feminine energy is different than the masculine. And I would say really informing and researching and really learning about feminine and masculine energy, and what really men are what men need emotionally and what women need emotionally, is so good in living our lives and in balance, and especially in relationships when both male and female are in a relationship. It's really not easy to act as a man for a man and as a woman for a woman. We need to learn what men are here to be or to do, and what women are to be here to be. Like it's important to have this
I feel like
learning.
this is another topic that maybe we can talk about in another, because I'm like getting that message coming up too, of like, it's not our job to be the mothers to our partners. And I feel like that's a whole nother topic that we could go into.
True. Yeah, like
Mm,
feminine and masculine, and really the functions and the roles and the needs of both is
mhm,
a big topic. And
mm.
yeah, it's very, very huge and important, in my opinion, to yeah,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
discuss. But as you said, it's a whole another topic that
yeah.
can be
Well, I look
addressed.
forward to diving into that with you at some point in another episode, because I think it is another really important topic to bring up, is that what is a woman's role in a relationship, and how we are not, and how the role that we take on in a relationship is sometimes bringing us farther away from our femininity in a way. I think that's a really important topic. So
Yeah.
anyway, Ghada, that's feeling complete for me. Do you have anything else that you wanted to share or bring up on this topic today?
I think it feels complete for me too. And yeah, like I feel we had some goals in this conversation, and I hope the people who would watch us would really, yeah, can relate to some things that we shared and can get like some of the things that the messages, some of the messages we just addressed it. And
Mhm.
please, as the last time, please like leave us a comment and ask us questions if you have any questions, or maybe suggestions for the next episodes. It would be great.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And one thing I just wanted to ask for anyone who's listening, if they were resonating with you and maybe they wanted to reach out to you, maybe to work with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, like I have a website, maybe we could put it in the description box. And yeah, they can really reach out through the website. And I also have Instagram, so they could follow my journey there. And if they resonate and would like to get my offering, they could really reach out in DM on Instagram. And yeah, like
Mm. I think they'd be so lucky. They'd be so lucky to work with you.
thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, Ghada. It was so good to have this discussion today. This another really powerful, important discussion. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, and yeah, just just so generous for sharing all of it with us today. And just looking forward to having you on again very
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah, thank you too, Kat, and really thank you for the invitation and for this beautiful space.
Mm,
Yeah, it's so, so beautiful to have this space. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Wow, that was such a powerful, powerful conversation. If you enjoyed this episode of Awakening Truth podcast and you would like to get more, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and do share your own truth in the comments. We would love to know what you felt from this conversation, and really just encouraging you to speak and share a little bit of your truth with us today, as that is truly powerful for, all of humanity. I truly believe that we're all connected. So would love to see you and feel you in the comments. Tune in next Sunday for the next episode of Awakening Truth podcast.